into a clone body. I got like the Emperor. He's like, at last. Anyway, Larry Merchant, remember, he was, of course, on HBO Boxing. What a lovable guy. Remember when he would just go full, like, Andy Rooney? Like, and then the camera would, like, zoom in on his face. And, like, he would just be like, I hate rubber bands. You know, like, he would just go all in. But he was great at it, man. Talk about a guy who could talk as well as he could write.
Alrighty.
Now here comes Manny. Manny is coming to this. He's coming. It looks like he's in some kind of Star Wars thing. And now, yeah, he's by himself, which is very. This is the only time I've ever seen Manny Pacquiao without 60 other people around him. Okay, here are the people, though. Here's some more people. Commissioned people. Okay, here's some entourage. There they are, baby. See, now these got at least
I forget that guy's
20 people.
Name right behind him, that tall guy.
Yeah, his
who's been in the ring already tonight with other fighters.
A funny story, I went to, remember I went to that software development school? Software engineering school? And like that, I went to that school, met his goddaughter.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Knucklehead Sean, what's his name? We call Sean. I'll tell you.
Okay. Kelsey's going to tell us. Here's Manny.
Don't worry.
Saying some prayers in the corner. There's Jinky. Yep, it's just exciting. And
Sean Gibbons.
Sean Gibbons.
And
I saw NewYorkFights.com put out earlier today. They've obviously done some writing about this big fight, and said that for Manny, this is low reward, high risk.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally is. NYFights.com. What a great site that is, Rachel. Of course, the famed Michael Woods, who was on our 100th show Spectacular, as you recall.
No, I don't recall.
Yeah, he was our 100th show Spectacular on Real Talk. He
Really?
was our guest. Yeah, it's before we did guests. Like, he was like one of our first guests. All right, now here putting his, I guess Vaseline in his face up.
You know.
He seems calm, but Manny always seems calm.
Yeah, so Manny doesn't seem any different at all. And so, yeah, I'm eager to... I mean, I was disappointed when, you don't have a table there. Now our table is for the mic.
I don't like it.
Yeah. But obviously disappointed that we didn't get the huge fight that would have been Pacquiao-Spence.
Then we got Jamie Leonard Jr.
I mean, look at this guy. You guys has got a chance here. Like, this is a chance of a lifetime. You get this, like, you come in and give it your all, you know?
Yeah, and I can't decide if it's going to... I mean, I can see really anything happening in this fight. I know what I learned in round 2010. By the time Pacquiao had knocked out, just demolished Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, by Antonio Margarito, which I think is 2010, I was like, you know what? Kelsey, you just shouldn't pick against Manny Pacquiao. I don't care how much bigger they are than him or whatever. Don't ever bet against Manny Pacquiao. And that's a life lesson I took with me. I don't care if he's older, if he's smaller, just give him the benefit of the doubt. Because he's won a lot of fights,
Yeah.
As an underdog, as a huge underdog. Now, he's a pretty big favorite in this fight.
Yes.
Which makes sense. But, Manny hasn't fought in a couple years, so... Here we go. They're announcing them.
Man, big boxing fights are so great, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, just look at that. Look at that place.
Well, like the moment before a big fight, especially in the arena, even now, I'm watching on TV, but the moment, like, they do it right here, it's the most exciting thing, I think, that I've experienced in sports. Like a big fight, right before it's like, oh, they do the anthems in boxing, and if they're from different countries, it's different anthems.
Now, do you find yourself pulling for Ugas, since he's from Cuba?
Now, I do have a special affinity for Cuban fighters, but of course, Rachel, Manny Pacquiao is arguably the most beloved fighter of the era. And I'm just hoping for a good fight, Rachel. A good fight where both guys do their best and Manny wins by second round knockout. What?
And clear winner.
Yeah, I want a clear winner. And if Ugas, if he does pull off the upset, yeah, what an amazing thing for him to be in that position, to take this fight. And that would be a life-changing victory for him. So, I mean, that would be great for him.
Started pro career weighing in 98 pounds.
That's what I was when I was born.
That's Pac-Man.
They were like...
You were 98.
98? Oh, my gosh!
You started your life at 98 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
He's got a God's Warrior shirt. He's got some pretty clean gear, Manny Pacquiao. It says God's Warrior, but it has this Manny Pacquiao emblem on it, so it's his official merch. That's short for merchandise.
That's like his, what do you call that when you have a... I can't think
emblem?
Of things. But, it's like a shield. It's like people have, especially in like Scottish, Celtic.
Yeah. It's their, like the...
Has a name.
McCarsons have one. They have a... Something of arms. Something,
Coat of arms.
Coat of arms.
Coat of arms. That looked like a take on a coat of arms.
All right, the fans are hyped. And yeah, here we go. They're about to fight. Them's about to fight.
You like this? Ultra 4K, 8K? I don't know what it is, but they got the fancy camera, you can tell.
Yeah, I love it. I actually love it in combat sports.
I like that they...
We don't even have the TV that can, like, apparently... We have a pretty good TV. We don't have the Ultra HD or whatever.
I like that the camera people have gotten better at using it. The first time I saw it was when the Super Bowl and the Patriots, and they kept using it in this weird way, and people would get blurry and not blurry, and...
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. And they've gotten a lot better. But did you want to get your Catholic voodoo sticks out like Manny's mom and curse anyone? Okay, you don't do
Here
that.
we go.
All right, Manny comes out, and yep, they're boxing.
Yeah, this is so. If anybody is watching us,
ooh, man, Manny, there's my favorite thing though in boxing. I've said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. The first time Manny Pacquiao hits you with his left hand power punch from a like far out distance, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody ever thinks that he can land it from that far, and they definitely don't think he can land it with as much power and speed.
Yeah.
And the first time he lands it, man, it's usually within the first couple rounds. That's my favorite moment in boxing. Listening to Manny Pacquiao fights. Ugas is keeping him off with the jab.
Yeah. Manny got tapped.
But Manny...
Got a couple jabs there.
Manny's not he's kind of more flat foot than I expected him, so he must feel like he can bang with him.
Yeah, he's not zipping in and out, but we also, like, here's what we're looking for. Like, we haven't seen Manny in the ring in a while, and, he's a fighter of a certain age.
He got him in there a little with their right hand, right there. See, or the other, just like there. I mean, just the way that he hits with such power and so awkwardly.
People don't expect the power and from the angles that Manny hits from.
And that he throws as many punches as he does.
But, Ugas has got a good reach there. So if he can withstand, kind of smiled there.
Yeah, he's also got like that high guard.
If he can withstand Manny's punches, he might have something here.
Yeah, and Pacquiao's really sitting down on his punches.
Yeah, Manny looks little, doesn't he?
Manny?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he always looks little.
I just haven't seen him in a while, but he looks like little.
Manny's being a little more stationary than I usually expect him to be, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's wrong. That's bad. Like, I think he feels like he's got the faster hands and the better angles and a lot of power. Because Ugas is kind of...
Well, I hope it's that and it's not age. It means that he's just... He can't fight like how he used to because...
Oh, yeah.
He better have a plan B then, like, for how he's going to fight. That makes me nervous, whenever you see like a beloved like fighter, veteran fighter, it's hard. It's hard to see them not do their best.
It's a good jab from Ugas. Really
Ugas
teeing off, but
faring pretty well, I would say, round one. Ooh.
nice takedown from Ugas. Level change. This is boxing, right?
I didn't like how Manny got up there. Have some concern.
This is how you feel like every Manny. I feel like he won the first round, but I feel like he definitely is going to need to really connect. He's going to need to be more accurate a little more accurate than he was in the first round. And Ugas, he landed some really good jabs at the end of the first round.
Well, because if I'm just looking at
here.
the two, it's
that third one.
I almost feel like maybe Ugas has got a better strategy. I'm not sure what Manny's strategy is yet.
That's always Manny's strategy. Like he gets hit like this.
Like, yeah, it might be because like
that right there.
Nobody fights like Manny, and he just is like this, Whoever knows what. Is that a sentence? What Manny's strategy is. He's just awesome.
Yeah, so second round. Looks like Ugas landed more punches, 13-10, but Manny threw twice as many. So
okay, so it was hard to... It would be hard without counting for us to know 13-10.
Yeah, but
we definitely knew just by watching that Manny threw more.
A lot more. And usually,
which is important to know because judges don't have CompuBox.
When the CompuBox number suggests that judges usually score 4 rounds for the fighter that throws more punches.
Yeah.
Especially when things are even like that.
And I assume they use CompuBox? This outlet? Does all boxing outlets use CompuBox?
Yeah. Even like ShowStats is just CompuBox.
Okay.
With the name ShowStats.
Okay.
So yeah, Pacquiao's being a lot more stationary. He's standing in front of Ugas, and maybe I'm feeling a little nervous too, but we'll have to see.
When is Chuck Liddell on?
Man, Chuck Liddell, right? Maybe the winner will fight Chuck Liddell.
That could really happen. We have
today's world. That probably
Oscar
is
De La
going to
Hoya
happen.
Fighting
Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
And tonight. I mean, it's crazy, dude. We just watched Victor Ortiz and Ronald Guerrero fight.
Right. I was like, where's Marty McFly at?
Goldberg
what
was in
here?
WWE. I don't even know what's going on anymore. But like today, that doesn't seem. I almost tweeted about it, but like that doesn't seem as crazy today.
Yeah.
Since I just saw Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul is fighting people like Tyron Woodley. That's just crazy. So yeah, Manny, I like how when he keeps his guard high like this. He started doing that a lot more after Marquez knocked him out in the fourth fight, which I liked.
What it looks like to me is that Manny doesn't want to catch a lot of... He doesn't want to get hit with a lot of punches from Ugas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he wants to be careful because Ugas is naturally bigger. But then also...
And so he is being bigger, and what concerns me is that he clearly has the shorter reach, and he doesn't seem as quick as I've seen him before, so how is Manny going to consistently get in on the inside and land heavy, significant punches?
Well, yeah, he seems to think that he can stand in front of him and let his hands go. Because they're just standing in the pocket, really.
Yeah.
And Ugas is he's landing good punches. He's having a good round, I think. Manny's having a little trouble getting his hands on him. He doesn't look... Yeah, he's timing Manny pretty well. Like, Sean Porter just...
Ugas looks pretty good. That's what I'm going to say. He's looking pretty good to me.
Yeah, he's doing really well. It's also hard,
and Cuban fighters, I mean, they're skilled, right?
Yeah. Well... Who's that guy? Russell Crowe?
That's not Russell Crowe.
Oh.
They're Gerard Butler.
Gerard Depardieu.
There is a trailer on for a movie.
That looks like...
This is a pay-per-view. Why am I seeing like a commercial?
You say this like every pay-per-view these days.
Guys, one thing you need to know about me is essentially I have the soul of an old man.
You're like Andy Rooney. What's the deal with rubber bands?
I don't want to pay for parking. I don't want to watch
How
ads
many
when I
times
pay
we've
for a
had to
pay-per-view.
walk 60 blocks to avoid paying for parking? You've gotten better at it in your old age. It's good.
Oh yeah, you put up quite the fight about it, so.
All right, now I think that. What do you think, Rachel? Manny's going to have to get his punches off here. I think he's going to need to be more accurate and stop getting timed as well as Ugas has timed him.
He's going to have to box better. He's going to have to be better. What he's doing in 1 and 2, I don't think is going to...
Pacquiao's only landed 17% of his punches.
It could cut it if you have the whole, like... You know, he's definitely the A side here. But I don't want to see come down to scorecards and have it be, like, close or whatever. And actually, you know what? Historically, Manny doesn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I just mean that he's lost a couple fights.
He's had to go both ways, yeah.
That
where everybody in the world thinks he
them.
won, yeah. Timothy Bradley fight.
So, like, that's what I mean. Like,
Jeff Horn fight is an example.
I need Manny.
But yeah.
To win clear.
Well, then even in the first Marquez fight, Pacquiao didn't get credit for a knockdown that he scored. One of the knockdowns, which had the judge rendered the verdict that score correctly, like he's supposed to, Pacquiao would have won and said it was a draw. For some reason, like they can't fix a clerical error. Now it looks like Manny is getting his punches off a little better.
Yeah, I just saw Ugas give him a smile there, which means that he got hit with something, you know?
He did, yeah. This is a different Manny Pacquiao than maybe just a more stationary.
Yeah.
He's not like zipping in and out and kind of. Remember against Thurman, he would just be on top of Thurman like real fast.
Yeah.
But Ugas, he's not doing the same thing to Ugas. That could be stylistically because it's different. It could be because Manny's
age.
He's 1,000 years old, or it could just be just what's happened in the fight. You know, I love that he is really sitting down on his punches though and letting them go.
It is.
And it's hard to in rounds like this.
Different.
Look at that. And he kind of stumbled him back to the ropes. And
he was sitting down and he saw an opening and he took it.
It was like a. He got his punches off. Ugas countered that with a flurry,
and then he countered the counter, and just lit his hand. And that's what like Manny does, right? Like he's like a little tornado, a little flurry of punches. And all of a sudden he's on top of you.
Yeah,
so Ugas got pushed up against the ropes, not seriously hurt, so still like doing good. He's landed lots of punches of his own since.
Ooh.
But here's what you wonder.
Oh,
okay.
That was good.
Careful, Manny. Careful.
But Manny likes it. He likes to fight, Rachel.
I know.
He likes to get punched in the face.
It makes me nervous. But Ugas felt, we can see now, he felt some of that power.
Oh,
he
yeah.
felt some of Manny's power in that round. And, you know, maybe to my eyes when I'm just watching it, I'm like, okay, yeah, Manny landed some punches. Maybe inside, Ugas is like, yes, he's landed some punches. Like, he's just, like, felt them, but we can't really see that. So maybe Manny's been doing better work than what I thought through the first, like, couple rounds. Yeah, so... Yeah, he came. And look at that. You see that feint? He looks good, though. I mean, he's in good shape. For being, like, 98 years old.
Yeah. Crazy that Manny Pacquiao.
There's a lady in Florida that is 100, and she is a weightlifter, like participating in weightlifting competitions. Guess when she picked up the sport?
World War I?
When she was 90.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's never too old to start the thing you love.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's Muay Thai like
Age
me,
is
right?
just a number.
My knee fell apart pretty much immediately. I'm looking forward to jiu-jitsu, though. Once, of course, obviously, jiu-jitsu costs money, so.
Oh. Manny you got to look at the ref and be like, stop the fight. That was a low blow.
He was like, ref, I'm Manny Pacquiao, and I've deemed that a low blow.
I feel like Manny stopped the fight. Manny feel like that was a low blow. I need give me my rest here.
There's some people. Can you imagine being a person in the world that doesn't watch Manny Pacquiao fight? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people when I bring up like, oh, Manny Pacquiao or whatever, and they're like, who? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Or they just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you take this whole span of his career,
It's
like
crazy.
it's so like amazing.
Like, it's like a big thing in our house, you know?
We do.
You can't really be a bigger thing, really, you know, than Manny Pacquiao or. I mean, because the best thing, it's obviously like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, the two best fighters of their era.
Yeah.
But the best thing about Manny Pacquiao is that he might lose. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know.
Well, yeah.
Floyd, like, he was so great and such an excellent fighter. I don't know, like he was favorite in pretty much all of his fights, right? Maybe especially when he got to the top of the sport, maybe he was I'll have to look back at it, but maybe Diego Corrales was a favorite a long time ago. That's before he was a pay-per-view draw. But on pay-per-view, always a huge favorite, right?
Yeah.
And Pacquiao, man, he's been in a lot of fights where either he was the betting underdog or I thought he was going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember when he snatched Ricky Hatton's soul?
Remember when we picked? We were on that Ricky Hatton train.
I thought there was no way.
We were like, Ricky Hatton is the next big thing. Like, we were just so like, and then we were like,
and he just like, yeah,
destroyed him.
Just like completely like.
Did Ricky Hatton like fight Mayweather and Pacquiao kind of very
in a row?
Close to one
Those
another.
are his only losses.
Where I saw Ricky Hatton get destroyed, like.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah. Because what happened was he fought Mayweather first, and Ricky Hatton moved up to 147 pounds. Ricky Hatton was the lineal 140-pound champ. Moved up to 147, lost to Mayweather. Mayweather knocked him out in like 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he moved back down to fight Manny at 140 to defend his lineal championship.
Yeah. That was a slip. It was like his feet. Ugas's feet were in a weird position, and so his knee touched the ground.
So Manny is... How did he do? I've been talking. Can we talk about the boulders that are his calves? What's going on?
You know, his calves look insane, especially, yeah. You have the socks pulled up over him and like another ad. You know, I just want to say this is a main event. It is Manny Pacquiao. I do not know why I'm seeing ads in between, like, rounds.
It's just...
I think it's utterly ridiculous.
Well, you said it again.
I will say this.
You should write him a letter.
If anybody, which I don't know if the Venn diagram of like whatever the crossover viewership is, watches this and watch my solo live reactions to the UFC card, which was Cyril Gone, Cereal?
Yeah, just say cereal like you're eating cereal.
Gone versus Derek Lewis. That was hard to carry solo. It is so much better with two people here. There were some gaps of silence in my live reactions.
I mean, the good news on both accounts, there's no way that anybody's watching any of these, like the whole video, right?
No, I think it's crazy.
So anyway, looks like we're into the 5th round now. Manny Pacquiao is still very popular.
He's still beloved in the sport, guys.
Other guy, no.
He hasn't Conor McGregor'd it during these rounds and made himself hateable.
Gosh. I know, man.
Sorry, Conor.
I'm not sorry. Conor did it to himself. I'm kind of sad that Dustin ruined what would have been a pretty funny boxing match between Conor and Manny Pacquiao, right?
Right. I mean, can you imagine the promotion? Like, Like, because Manny's just, like, so nice. I think that Conor would just be nice.
Conor's the devil.
Well, now he is, but before the second
He was acting
fight
different
with
back
Poirier, he was...
I just would like to see... Yeah.
He was actually like a Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, it's... If we shouldn't have brought up this sad...
Yeah, sorry.
Sadness.
Let's just leave that somewhere else. Ugas. That reach, man. He is doing well with that reach.
He is doing really well with the reach. This is one of those fights where...
Punches landed. CompuBox is telling us. They've gone back and forth. So at the round 4, Manny had landed more punches. Now Ugas is up 61-58. So...
Which, this... you want to talk about... You want me to hate something? This landed punches thing that the PBC constantly puts up on the graphic.
Yeah.
Total landed punches is a ridiculous stat. That has no meaning in the fight at all. And actually it does a terrible thing because it's presented as if it has any meaning. CompuBox punch stats are not legitimately like, we don't really know. This is, their system relies on human people that have to push buttons by looking at something, right? Mm-hmm. Secondly, like, that's not how fights are scored in any way, holistically, by landed punches.
Yeah, it's not how judges...
So, like, having this...
Because it's the only stat that they have up, and
crazy.
So...
I don't know why they do that. So, yeah, Pacquiao, to me, I'll be honest with you, we're about almost to the end of round 5, and Ugas is having a good round, and I think that Manny looks pretty old.
He does. He's still, like, in this fight. Hey,
yeah, I'm not saying he's not.
Your mom left a couple comments.
That's like, that's not my mom. What if it wasn't? What if it was though?
What if it was your mom?
She's like, what if we like? I call her and she's like, hey, did you get my comments? And I'm like, what? So yeah, this is a good fight though. But honestly, when this fight was made, you had to know that this was going to be a good fight because Ugas is a good fighter, and the Jinky looks worried, Rachel.
Jinky looks like it. I know how you feel, Jinky. I know it. I wanted this to be like more clear and decisive. I'm just a longtime Pacquiao fan, so this is no offense to Ugas. Because of Kelsey's affinity for Cuban fighters, also enjoy Cuban fighters.
Because nobody supports them but me.
Well, they're very skilled, and I really like
Cuba.
how skilled Cuban fighters are. I really like it. So, but you know, you're fighting Pacquiao, and I love Pacquiao, and I've loved him for a long time.
All right, here we're coming out for round 6.
Yep.
So I would think that if Manny wants to win this fight, he's gonna have to start using that jiu-jitsu. No, he's gonna. Yeah,
it might just be that Manny can't move like he used to. Because he is very flat-footed.
He looks strong. He is fighting really flat-footed.
Even with those giant calves.
Yeah, but he's getting countered a lot.
Does he always wear his socks like that?
His calves
I kid you not. Like, when the fight first started, I was like, does he have knee pads around his
calves look
shins?
Too big. I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't like it. Ugas is having a good round, I think, but Manny's throwing more punches. I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, Pacquiao's aggression, just like our friend. What's his name? I can picture him.
That didn't help me.
Who cares? Who cares what his name is? The guy that's announcing the fight. He got in a fight with Floyd on the ESPN a long time ago. Brian Kenny.
Oh, okay.
Now I
was going to say Brian Kenny.
Saying Brian Kenny's name. Anyway, whatever.
Does he have big calves?
Word on the street is Brian Kenny has big calves too, y'all.
Does your mom like big calves? Or just...
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, I need, like, Manny can't move your head down like that. got hit
He's
with
just
something.
not as-
But
yeah, Ugas is countering him well.
Manny historically has had different like facets to his game, and it seems to me that he's missing one of the like dynamic facets of his game.
Yeah, and also, yeah.
And so against somebody else, this strategy might be enough, but it looks like Ugas is good enough, that we needed like a better version of Manny. So that's interesting, because years ago I had talked about Manny fighting Earl Spence and it being like a passing of the torch.
Maybe
And
this
fight didn't seem like that kind of fight to me because, Ugas is a late replacement. It's, but it might, sometimes you don't get to choose who you pass the torch to, and this might just be it, He's trying to move more. Look at that.
He needs to move.
He
his
tried
feet
to move
more.
and bounce around more. He was hopping kind of all over the place.
He needs to do that.
If he can do that and sustain it, then yeah, I'd like to see more of that because it looked to me like Ugas was a little taken off guard with that.
Keith Thurman's draw pick doesn't look ridiculous as it did.
Is he some kind of master, like gambling, expert?
Is he like gambling addict?
Probably not an addict. Earlier, they were talking to Thurman about how do you prepare for somebody like Manny Pacquiao, who's so never rattled or whatever. And I was like, Thurman was the weird guy you go in against a fight against, remember he would always be meditating, that was all the film they had of him, or they
he could jump rope for 60 hours. That was the other thing.
He take long time off between fights.
Yeah, he had a 16-year layoff in his career for somehow, and you're like, what?
I was like, he should be completely comfortable with that. Does he even know what his opponent's doing?
So I'd like to see Manny get the angle more as a southpaw, which he used to hop over and do a little bit more.
Yeah.
He kind of, because it gives him the punching angle. It's just, I don't know why he's not doing it. It might be, he has a professional. He probably has his reasons.
Probably has his reasons.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only won lineal championship in 5 weight classes.
Yeah, so we're almost a minute into round 7 here. And, like you said, Thurman's
it's a close fight.
bet pick for a draw doesn't seem too radical.
It's a close fight.
I feel like these guys, Ugas kind of mirrors Manny. So if Manny lets his hands go, it's like Ugas comes back and immediately lets his hands go too.
Well, yeah, because he wants Manny to lead, and then he wants to block and counter, and he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to not get. Yeah, he's doing a good job. And Manny, he has a lot of good combinations, but he also will sort of sometimes repeat them, which is why Marquez can counter him like he did in the 4th fight.
Yeah. Ooh.
So if
Manny
you're a
got
good counter
tagged
puncher,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, basically, I just need Manny to channel Manny from 10 years ago?
You want 2008, 2009 Manny. This fight would
Right,
have been.
that was when we wanted
He can't.
Pacquiao-Floyd fight. Here's what I'll say is we have noticed some people come in to fight Manny Pacquiao, and it's like they've already lost the fight before they stepped in the ring. Like they have the pressure or the fear, or there's just something.
Yeah, you can see the look in their eyes.
Ugas, I didn't see that, and I haven't seen it the whole fight. He has stuck to his game plan. He has not, he's just stuck to his game plan.
Yeah, this is an awesome performance by him because he went in here and he has to be a little bit nervous. Getting them fight at the last minute, and it's easily the biggest opportunity of your life, and maybe will be the biggest opportunity of your life ever, right? And he's fighting a really great fight, and he's definitely in the fight. Who knows how this fight is being scored? Manny is throwing more punches and
Manny is throwing more punches.
And being more
Ugas
aggressive.
felt like he got that round. He did a little shimmy for Manny there at the end of the round.
Yeah, I wouldn't have scored that round for him. Not for Ugas. I would have scored that for Manny.
But I wonder if that's a sign of Ugas maybe.
I feel like Ugas is gonna need to
pride goes before fall type thing.
Yeah, he's gonna need to. You can't fight in the biggest fight of your life and expect to win the fight without trying to win the fight. Do you know what I mean? Like really going out there and trying to win the fight.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like
this harkens back to a fight we saw last weekend.
Oh, okay.
With Rigo. Guillermo Rigondeaux, where he was content to fight the same way the entire fight and be like, and he was fine. He was satisfied. He lost the fight. He was satisfied.
But did he? Yeah. Well, I was thinking
we all lost, but I think so. That's what I hear you saying is that Ugas. He's also cutting it close here because he's not taking a lot of risk. He's not letting his hands go. No, and you're fighting the A-side fighter here who's Manny Pacquiao.
Manny's thrown 200 more punches than Ugas. And they're pretty close. It's 91 to 88. 91 to 88.
And landed.
So
but the other guy who's thrown more, if you look like you're the more aggressive fighter, well, then you often get the nod.
You should. Yeah.
And especially if everything else is equal, and that's what I see is everything else is equal. Ring generalship, I don't know, defense, like the other stuff that a judge might look at seems to me pretty even. And so Ugas, if he wants to make sure that he wins this fight, well then he's got to do more too.
I would let my hands go a little more and not just. Because there's a difference between trying to win the fight, like going out and trying to take the victory over an all-time great fighter, and just kind of. Do you remember when Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia fought each other?
And neither one wanted to.
What a great fight it was for 6 rounds, and then when it got to the point where somebody needed to step on the gas, it seemed like neither of them stepped on the gas. They both kind of let off the gas because they were more afraid to lose than they were
to win.
Then they wanted to win. And I feel like that's what I'm saying. He seems more like he's a little bit too tentative in my eyes. In the biggest fight of your life,
Yeah.
Like you would hate to be so close and not have.
And then, won. Especially if you felt like you. Now for Manny's position, I'm not sure that he has what he used to have to be able to step up.
Well, he's already stepping up though. He's already throwing 200 more punches.
Right? Yeah.
I'm saying
that.
I'm saying
he can't do maybe the thing, which is jump all over the ring and hit you from weird angles with superpower. I don't know if he has that ability anymore.
He definitely seems a little slower.
And I don't know.
Tonight.
I can understand why Manny wouldn't let his hands go because he'll get tagged, I remember him getting knocked out by Marquez.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he is letting his hands go.
Yeah, I mean just a free-for-all. Right. All right. So what, we're to the last third of the fight here?
So Ugas.
Manny doesn't look too worn out though.
No, but he's getting hit more cleanly than he would like to get hit.
Correct.
And I think that this is a tough fight. This is a high high risk, low reward. His
conditioning looks good. I just don't know if Manny is as quick as he used to be. And no amount of conditioning. Your conditioning is obviously going to be a help with that, but I don't think it can make you like any better if you just don't have it. All right, here we are. Round 9.
Yeah, 65 to 59 in power punches. Interesting. Yeah, that jab for Ugas is really paying dividends, Rachel. I gotta say, I gotta use my announcer voice. I gotta use my late night announcer voice. Another
You think that's a sign of Ugas getting like frustrated?
Another savage takedown by the Cuban.
Like he pushed him down.
Level change, baby. See, I would like to see Manny.
Although I would say it's kind of a good strategy. As you get older, it is hard to get up off the ground.
Yeah, sometimes I just stay there. If I fall, if it's late enough in the day, I'll just stay there till tomorrow. You know?
Whatever.
Now that I got my arthritic knee.
You know what I like, Kelsey? I like that somebody has a YouTube account with the name Your Mom and then just goes around to videos and leaves special little comments. As
It's their
your
impact
mom.
on the world.
That's what they do. It's so crazy. It's like a modern day pranking, you know? Like you prank call. Remember back in the day when you prank call people? Kids can't prank call anybody anymore. Not without like getting somebody in trouble, because you could like steal somebody else's phone and then prank call from that. But it's not anonymous. I guess you could figure out how to do an anonymous prank call. I just don't know if it's worth all that effort.
Yeah. Be interested to see how the judges are scoring this fight. Or how people on Twitter are scoring it. I mean, it's hard, though. I don't really trust Twitter. Forget it.
I can't, yeah. We're using my phone to film. I can't look. I could look on the laptop. But again, I think you're right. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I don't really remember having seen Ugas fight prior to this. I'm sure that I have. He has a belt, but I forget things. I do not retain sports information.
You're like a boxing's memento. Yeah. Like, and you're like, okay, you know, I don't know. But you are. But you definitely are.
I have no, what is it, short-term memory for
something.
For sport. It's not just boxing, it's sports. Like you could ask me like who won the Super Bowl and I'd be like, I watch the Super Bowl every year. You know?
Really? Oh. The Bucks? The Bucks won it?
Right. I was going to say the Patriots, but it's only because I thought Tom Brady in my head.
Who's that Tim Brady guy? Yeah.
So yeah, I will say end of the last couple rounds, Ugas and Pacquiao seem a little, like just a tiny bit chippy, you know? Like
A little chippy, a little tired.
I need it to come out in the round, you know, in the following round. I need it.
Yeah. Ugas is having a really sound defensive fight, and his jab is looking really clean. But it's hard to see who would be winning this fight on the judges' scorecard. Why haven't they given us the unofficial scorecard?
They did a few rounds back. Yeah. It was like 67-66 when they gave it.
Yeah, and this isn't this 10, 11, and 12. This is an important time in the fight, Rachel. It's, you know, just like any other round. It's important. Ooh. Man, you got him.
Oh, we're getting hands let go this round, and then we got a headlock.
Manny got a little good punch in on him.
Ugas just right there when they the ref broke that up. He like held one of his gloved hands in a certain way that I wonder if something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Good punch by Ugas. Yeah, it was a fun little moment there, and it appears to be over. Yeah, he waits. Ugas waits. See, I just don't know if this is the right. How do you win the fight? Do you wait like that and just hope that the judges? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, this fight ends like this. It's definitely leaving it like all in the judges' hands. And you could really like see, like, I couldn't argue if the judges pick, scorecards come back and it's Ugas, I couldn't argue with that. They come back and it's Pacquiao, I couldn't argue with that.
Yeah, the only thing you could say if like they came back and said Kelsey and McCarson, I would be like,
right, you'd be like, huh?
How did I win this fight? And they're like, you just did, man.
You'd be like,
here's
all right.
$20 million. And I'll be like, we're saved, Rachel. Yeah, he's out fighting. Ugas is fighting a good fight. His strategy is to block and counter. And also, he's got such a longer reach on Manny that Manny's having a hard time closing the distance and being effective. So,
yeah.
And then because Ugas doesn't throw a lot of punches, he's not leaving himself open.
No, and he's got a good guard.
He's getting hit, and he's.
You will wake Pacquiao up though. You land the right shot, and it sometimes it will just like awaken the lion that is inside of Pacquiao.
Well, he needs to be
awoken
because I feel like he just doesn't seem to have the
same spark.
Yeah.
But
it has to be hard to like think you're gonna fight Earl Smanson and but you did it yourself. I mean, this Ugas is a really good fighter, so it's no knock on him. He's fighting an excellent fight.
I mean, I'm still surprised that Manny can, go through training camps and like all this stuff, I'd be like, I'm tired, guys. I'm gonna move on with my life, All right, here we go. Round 11.
Manny needs to turn up. He's got to win the championship rounds on my make-believe card in my head. I score fights it's pretty much a random thing. Like I don't actually score them the round by round. I score them based on a feeling, really. part thought, part feeling. Okay. So yeah, I would like to see. I don't know. I think in close fights like this, the 11th and 12th round, they should also have knives for hands. You know what I mean? That would change things.
Yeah, like when we get to like the final two rounds, if it's a close fight, we need to add something in.
Or maybe like one knife in one hand, and then in 12 you get.
Or
both.
How about this?
If they're still.
The fight starts with each fighter in their corner. We toss a knife into the middle.
Okay, yeah.
And then go.
So like Joker rules.
Whoever gets that knife.
Right. Or like the broken stick. Like, here's the stick.
But Pacquiao would get that knife and then, like, toss it out of the ring.
Come on, Pacquiao. Savage. He used to be savage. Now he's just savagely tired. No. He just doesn't have the spark, the spark. But part of it is the spark is being punched out of him by Ugas.
This is interesting. This is why this is an interesting fight. Okay? Here's what I expected. I expected to either come in and see Pacquiao destroy his opponent.
Or get whooped.
Or I expected to be very, very sad as I saw, like, Manny Pacquiao just get overworked and, but neither of those things has happened. Rather, it's a more even fight and it's kind of been fought the same way through all 11 rounds so far. Definitely punches. The thing, and there's punches landed, right, in this round. It's just that they both have landed punches, so we're left even.
Well, and Manny's thrown a lot more, and Ugas is he's thrown a lot less. Maybe it looks cleaner, right? Because Manny throws more punches, so he it's a good fight.
Yeah, I agree with Porter. Pacquiao just got hit with a little something
He had
there.
blocked it, though, too. I mean, some of Ugas' punches look big because
maybe
they
I
moved
don't always
Pacquiao, but
see
he
the
blocked
block.
it.
Okay.
I mean, it's part of the thing. I'm just saying that. So it's a very interesting fight. I have no idea how it's being scored.
I like Ugas a lot, though.
You like him?
Yeah, like I want to see
Him in more fights?
Yeah, I do like a Cuban style fighting.
I mean, if Manny lost this, wouldn't be a bad way to go out fighting a really good fighter.
Well, and if he lost this on the cards in a close fight like this, I mean, it might not even be his last fight.
Well,
I'm
just saying, like,
'cause it's not like he got complete. He's obviously very competitive.
Oh yeah, he could be winning the fight.
So
It's hard to see how he.
Okay, so you're saying he didn't get all of that because he had
Yeah, it
his
wasn't
hand
clean.
up there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I miss those,
It's a
which
good
I will
right
point out. Judges sometimes can't see that stuff either, especially if they're on the far side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Here we go. 12th and final round, Kelsey. Are you ready? You think they just lay it all on the line, or we get more of the same? This is like we're watching Manny Pacquiao fight. It's pretty like awesome, you know? Like this is one of the greatest fighters
Who's ever lived in the whole world.
of at least like the, definitely of my generation. And I get to I'm seeing him fight and be competitive. Like I'm always grateful when I get to see Manny Pacquiao fight.
On the cards. Yeah. They're both pretty
So Ugas landing a couple heavy, not really accurate, but they kind of move Manny around the ring.
Yeah, because he's yeah.
It's one of those punches that kind of comes and
Circus.
from the side almost. But yeah, I mean,
There's just a lot of waiting around and
yeah, they're both good. It's competitive. I think Manny's still a great fighter at this age. I like Ugas. But I would we're in the 12th round here, and neither of you can be sure that you won this fight. Who wants it? I'm not seeing that extra, little thing. Now, granted, they're looking for their spots, right? They're looking for, oh, this is my moment, and then I let my hands go, But I would say usually Manny's in there against somebody, and Manny will clap his gloves together like that, and then, the person kind of, meets them there. But Ugas, he's been very disciplined. Ooh. So Ugas had landed, I don't know if that was, a true uppercut, but it definitely came from, low on the chin there. But Manny... Looks like Manny's looking for more shots like that so he can get an opening. Here we go. Last 30 seconds. More of the same. Manny looks pretty tired. Getting hit a little bit more. Hands are down more. Gosh, I just don't know. 10 seconds. I mean, yeah.
They're just tired.
They just.
Well,
I think
over.
Ugas was going to
Great
stay
fight.
disciplined, and Manny, I just don't think he had that old Manny that, in him anymore.
He was old Manny.
Right.
Not old Manny.
Right.
So, yeah, Jinky looks worried. Rachel looks worried.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Gerardo Garcia. Do you say Gerardo? Is that how you pronounce the name?
I can't see it.
Well, like Gerard Butler, but Gerardo. Glad you liked hanging out with us. I'm looking at the laptop instead of at you. Who do you think won? Tell us who you think won. Obviously, I'm just torn. Who do I think won? I wasn't scoring the fight.
Yeah, I didn't score it. I can see. It's one of those fights where I feel like it's going to be really close in the cards, probably. And I could even see a split decision or a draw because it's hard when a guy throws, let's see, 115 to 113.
Has Ugas up 115 to 113.
He won the last 3 rounds, which, it just depends. There are a lot of close rounds, and how do you score them, and who do you give
all these
preference
rounds could
to.
Be flipped, yeah.
I think that Ugas definitely, towards the second half of the fight, but it just depends how some of those rounds were scored. They're really close rounds.
Yeah. And since I don't actually score fights. Yeah. Pacquiao is a great fighter. And should he fight again, he's still huge payday.
Yeah. Well, the punch,
yeah.
Pacquiao had
We agree. But, so I don't like to, because I didn't score round by round, so I would be giving, a holistic score. So I hesitate to do that because I feel like most fans do that, and then they convince themselves that is that's who really won because holistically they felt like that's who won the whole fight after watching the whole fight. Then they get super mad when the scorecards come in.
It's just he threw.
Judges don't score like that. They score 12 fights.
Manny threw 410 more punches.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a judge to overcome.
Right.
And so it's just I think that if we'll just see who wins the fight. Whoever wins the fight here, congrats to them because I think both guys have a case for it. I just feel like if you're Ugas, you would have to do.
And it's
the way that boxing works, you have to do more than you just did, I think, to beat.
Usually boxing works that you have to do more to beat the champ. Now, technically, they're both champs.
The A side.
But to beat the A side, yeah.
Unanimous decision. Surprising.
All right. Gosh. Our dog is being so loud.
$116 to $112 and $115 to $130. Ugas won it. Really close on the cards. They had it 7 rounds to 5. 8-4.
Pacquiao is an A-side fighter that does not get the A-side benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and part of it's his style because he's so active that he can get hit a lot cleaner than. But congratulations to Yordenis Ugas. What an amazing victory for him. And this really sets him up for a huge fight against potentially Earl Spence or really anybody in the PBC.
And I want to say, before this fight started, that Earl Spence said that he would, he couldn't fight Manny Pacquiao, so that he would fight Ugas.
It was a really good win for him. I'm surprised that the judges gave him so much credit, but, boxing's a weird sport, and I don't want to get into all that now. But congratulations to him. He definitely deserved to win the fight.
Yeah. This is not new for Pacquiao.
No, even that he's in the ring again. He's 42 and he hasn't been out. He's been out of the ring for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's fighting a top,
Yeah.
welterweight on short notice with a difficult style. So congratulations to him.
Yeah. They're interviewing Ugas now.
Good for him. What a big fight.
Very excited. But most of all, I want to thank Manny Pacquiao for giving me this moment in this ring today. ¿Quién es campeón de WBA? Soy yo el campeón de WBA. I told you, I am the champion of the WBA, and I showed it tonight.
You did, and it seemed like you were even having fun in there. I saw
All right, is it over?
your shoulders. You were smiling. How fun was
No.
this moment?
I'm just looking at Twitter.
Hi. Yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, it seems like Manny needed to win the last 2 rounds to win the fight. He didn't.
Okay. It looks like Twitter, at least my Twitter is okay.
He just also didn't seem to have the fire. Like, he didn't even, like, sometimes he would want to try to, like, it's just hard when you maybe it's just time to retire. We'll
Yeah,
see if he
yeah.
retires. If he retires, I'll be pretty sad. But at the same time, I hope he fights Conor McGregor. What? Should fight Dustin, actually. Dustin loves boxing, too. Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
That was the lead punch, that double jab. We only had 2 weeks of training, but I listened to my corner, and it all worked out.
Yes, and you know Pacquiao was adamant that you didn't earn this belt because you were elevated to champion in January, but I think you've earned it now. So what do you want to do next? Who's next?
Bueno, te elevaron como campeón en el mes de enero y decían en el lado de Pacquiao que tú no eres campeón real. Ahora, ¿quién quiere ser Yordenis Ugas próximamente?
Bueno, yo pienso que voy en el camino que estaba, es unificarme. Ya le gané al que todo el mundo decía que era un campeón. Ahora soy campeón, unificarme.
Now the plan is to unify the title and welterweight. Everybody said that he was the champion. Now they know who the real champion is.
So does that mean Errol Spence?
Eso quiere decir que Errol Spence está próximamente.
Siguiendo en la lista debe ser.
Yeah, this guy's ready for anybody, right? He just beat Manny Pacquiao.
He's next one on the list that I want to fight, but most of all, I am praying that he recuperates.
Bueno, todos los cubanos estaban viendo esto. Los cubanos salieron masivamente a apoyarme. ¡Batería! ¡Batería!
Life for the Cuban people that came out in massive
Oh,
amounts
yeah.
to come and see me. So
So congratulations to Yordenis Ugas. Now they're going to interview Rachel McPherson.
Respect to you.
I'm like,
Respect to you. Congratulations.
There's like a big camera in here.
what?
Kate Abdu's in here. How did
All
you get in
right.
her house, Kate Abdu?
We're going to see what Manny says.
Certainly a different opponent than you were expecting. Was he more difficult than you expected?
Just big adjustment for a few days. So it's good. That's boxing.
Most definitely.
That's boxing.
Yeah, you know, that was a weapon that you used. Were you having a hard time finding your timing against it?
I know. I'm making a hard time in the ring, making adjustment about body style, and I think that's a problem for me because I didn't make an adjustment right away, and also my legs tight.
Yeah, we saw that you didn't use your legs as much, not as much footwork from you, and not as much head movement from you as well. Was it a matter of tightness? Was that the issue?
Yeah, my legs is so tight. That's why it's hard to move.
You think that's father time? 42 years old, still doing this, man, going the distance here against. Yes, look at this. This crowd is so.
They love him.
They came to see.
Uh,
What do you want to say to them?
Well, I'm so thankful to the fans so coming here to watch witness the fight live. I really appreciate of your effort to come here, even despite of this pandemic. You have time to watch live the fight, and I'm sorry that's
Will we see you in the ring again? I know a lot of respect between you. Will we see you fight again?
I don't know. Let's let me rest first, relax, and make a decision if I'm going to fight or not.
Like a true politician, will you be running for president in the Philippines in May?
What if he ran for president here?
I will make a final announcement next month, and I don't know. I know that I'm facing a big problem and more difficult works than boxing. So, but I want to help the people. I want to.
That seems like a weird question for a boxing broadcast. Are you going to
Yeah,
run for
but
president?
who is it in there? I forget her name.
Heidi.
Heidi Androl. She's like a pretty.
Be another Manny Pacquiao.
She's pretty good at her job, I think.
No.
And then I feel like she's
Yeah.
like leans towards legitimate journalists. Is what
Right.
I'm saying. So like I think that of course she has that.
To all the fans, I really appreciate your effort to come here. I hope that in my more than 20 years in boxing, I make you enjoyment and happiness in my career. I mean, that's boxing. I congratulate my opponent, Yordenis Ugas, for making half tonight and for winning tonight. So that's boxing. Let's face another tomorrow again and plan our future.
See, I think. See, like
Alright.
my. Can I just say, if you've sat through the dead air on this for 20 minutes, I think that like how Manny Pacquiao, you can tell a lot about a person. Your favorite fighter is a great way to look at it. How do they act when they win, when they're on top, and how do they act? How do they behave when they lose?
Yeah.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao was a great winner, and he was also great when he doesn't get the wins that he wants, and I love that, and I want to emulate that in my life. I don't want to be Conor McGregor on the ground with my leg broken, screaming at my opponent's family and wife. I think that that's ridiculous. I would never want to emulate that in any way. I would want to be like Manny Pacquiao, and so I'm really grateful for Manny Pacquiao and many other fighters as well who just do that in wins and losses, because I think that's what I want to do in my life.
Yeah, like when life doesn't go your way, that's how, like, you know what you're made of. And that's also how you can learn how you want to grow. So I've had life not go
Well, yeah,
my
if
way,
you don't.
and I have reacted
fair,
in
yeah.
a way that's not great, but I had awareness around it, and I could say, hey, you know,
So we're rooting,
I want to be better next time.
we're rooting for you to get better, Connor.
Yeah, I think that Connor can. Yeah.
He can.
So that's it. Best fight friends. That was Manny Pacquiao. We don't really know if we're going to see him in the ring again, but we know for sure we're going to see Ugas in the ring again. Or Ugas. I keep saying his name
Guys. Also.
just two different ways. But yeah, I like him. I like a good Cuban style. I like the skill. I like the guard. I like they have a wider stance in there. I like it a lot. So,
Yeah, they
and I love Manny Pacquiao. So it was an interesting night. Didn't have a high or a low that I expected. I'm just right in the middle. So, hey, and we love you, best fight friends. And we are going to end our live stream here. And yeah, we tried this again, and here we are. All right, how do we end this? This happened to me last
Until
time.
next time, that's Kelsey. I'm Rachel, and this was a really long episode of Real Talk.
It's not an episode. It was a live. We were watching live.
Cue the music.
Okay.
Hit the music, Rachel.